Hello everybody and welcome back to Pravus Gaming, a more urban empire in Pravsburg. So, hoping that this is going to be a pretty fun ongoing series, at least for a little while. Last video I was kind of talking pretty quick, trying to lay out a bit of a foundation for what this game is, and talking a little bit about some of my strategy, but yeah, we'll kind of keep going for a little bit longer, and I don't know if we're going to go all the way to the end of the game. It will depend a lot on you guys, but I am hopeful that you guys will have some fun. Thermodynamics. Your city's administration needs to make a decision about the interior of the forthcoming railway station. Aesthetic, Imperial, or Swarelian. I'm pretty sure all this is going to do is make certain parties happy. So for example, I'm going to go for a Swarelian style, and this will make the National Swarelian Party happier with me. I get some goodwill that I could use to plead with them and swing them on my voting issues. I'm not sure it's going to matter too much, but that's there. The citizens, however, are more likely to vote for the centrist party, which is great for me because it gives me a lot of flexibility as to whether I want to pursue left-wing or right-wing economic policies and still be able to win. So I like the idea of making the National Swarelian Party stronger. It also will make people more likely to vote for the Young Swarelian Party and the Old Swarelian Party, which will take effect in Era 2. Not sure why it tells you that early. I mean, if you haven't played this game before, you have no idea what that means, but there you go. Now, we are expanding a new district right now with some industry and such. Actually, right now, our industrial demand seems to have taken a little bit of a plummet, which does surprise me, but once we eventually build up a railway station, I think that'll fix the issue. Let's actually take a look at some of our city data. And this is one of the most important things you can look at in the game, is some information about the district. You can see right here, for example, in Waltondale, traffic capacity is up to 90%. It's actually really important because as your traffic capacity gets, well, used up, you'll find that your businesses become less effective and basically your district is unable to grow anymore, and you'll start losing a lot of money. So very soon, I think we're actually going to want to increase the infrastructure of Waltondale. We have a lack of wine. A disaster has come upon Pravsburg. The price of wine has been rocketing because of a very poor harvest, and now wine stocks are running out, so the situation is even worse. Citizens from workers to noble families are complaining about lack of wine. Luckily, you hear that harvest has been plentiful in France. Should we start trading? Yes, we can import a large variety. I'm not allowed to do quality wines because I am not elitist. I am a humble man from Dublin, so that's apparently blocked off to me. We could import a large amount of cheap wine, or no imports are needed. I'm going to say yes, a large variety. Let the people compete and choose out what they want. Yeah, so a direct bonus to happiness for all citizens, +1. The complaints have stopped thanks to importations. There you go. That was pretty fun. See all the little happy faces? Hey! We done good. We probably actually can go ahead and build another district, to be honest. We can afford it with our monthly balance. We have a ton of money. Let's go ahead and build out a new district then. I'm going to place you right about, I don't know yet. Let's see. Well, district looks something kind of like this. Can I expand it all the way out here? Totally can. This might be a little bit too large. First off, let's go ahead and make this a dense grid, because as I said before, I do believe that dense grids are the most effective for residential commercial districts, and sparse are the most effective for industrial. We're going to go ahead and make you about yay big. This is going to have to do. It's a fairly large district at the moment, but not bad at all. It's going to cost me $356,000 out of the city funds. We can afford that. $41,000 per month. Not a big deal, especially once it starts generating new revenue for me. We will make this a strictly residential and commercial area. I'm going to make it about 70-30 to start off. Now, these are mixed areas, which means in these particular blocks, you can have both residential and commercial. And these residential areas are obviously strictly for residential. If I made this purely commercial, though, I don't know if this is a bug or if it's changed since I first played the game, but all commercial areas I often find do not get filled in with anything. It seems like they don't get filled in until you are a medium density district. I'm not sure if that's intentional or not. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. But for now, doing a simple 70-30 split is probably going to be fine. Actually, maybe we want to make this about 65-35. Yeah, that's all right. A few mixed areas. Give people a good place to kind of shop around. Lots of residential areas. Sounds good. Let's confirm the zoning. We could put down a new service right now, and the only reason you would want to consider doing this now is so that you don't have to host a vote on a modification to the district later. We can probably afford to do a church, so if I place you, let's say, right up here, like so, Yeah, seems like all the parties are still very much behind this idea. They're okay with that. That does increase the operating costs. Now, if we do run into a deficit because I start up this new zone, that would be an opportunity for me to raise taxes if I want to. And maybe I do, maybe I don't. We'll see. Let's do a normal vote and have them get started on that process. Farnham is the name of the district. Darlington is the name of the other one. And thermodynamics is done. Thus, from this slight and very short experiment, we may understand and judge the mighty and wonderful laws of the heavens and the nature of the winds. I feel like I ought to be able to mute this, but it doesn't actually mute it. Oh no. Huh. It's not a mute button, it's like it starts over. I wasn't aware of that. Anyway, so this increases the sales in certain industries, which is really good, because it means that our industrial buildings are going to be turning a profit more easily because they're able to sell goods via rail more often. So that actually should increase the demand for our industrial sector a fair bit. We did unlock the police station, which is a new service we could pass if we need it, but more importantly, I have access to the railway station, which is our first institution. Let's go to the progress cloud. I'm going to go ahead and build out gas infrastructure because we need this if we want to improve our roads. Cobblestone road surface, yeah. So if we want to expand on our infrastructure, this is something we're going to need. Let's go ahead and start up that research like so. Okay, we have to resolve a new event. Steam and speed. A railroad is being built to Pravsburg, and soon there will be trains enabling the fast transport of people and goods. Who knows what kinds of changes this might bring? How do you feel about the railroads? Well, they're the transportation of the future, which is a very progressive thing to say. Every citizen should have access is something that probably works really well to the proletariat. I dislike them, kind of a bit Luddite. I've heard they're dangerous, cynical. I'm going to say every citizen should have access to trains. And as a result, I am becoming more of a populist, a new trait. 2 more points toward it. I'm not familiar with all of the traits and exactly what they do. I do know that I'm honest and an optimist right now. I think we could get more. What that involves, I don't know. Some of them are good and some of them are probably bad. But every character gets to be a little bit different because of that. Vote on the new district. Build it. Yep, we're going to win this vote very easily. Notice I haven't had to do any persuasion of the political parties. None whatso-freaking-ever. And now they're going to start building out on this based on the demand. We'll start making a ton of money. I am running a deficit, which means if I want to go to the city council and raise up some taxes, now is an opportunity to do so. Not by much, though. You can see that as you increase the taxes, this little political map mode is going to start shifting a lot based on what the political parties can agree to. So if we raise up like the citizen tax, for example, we can raise that a fair bit before things get really difficult. I'm not sure how much I want to raise up these taxes, to be honest. I could raise them up to a flat 20%. And this could be a good opportunity for me to show you how you bully the parties. The thing is, I don't know that I want to raise taxes that much, because, to be honest, higher taxes make it harder to grow. So, you know what? Despite the fact that we now are probably more likely to be able to increase taxes, I'm not too worried about it. We're not going to raise taxes. We are instead going to wait for a vote on limited liability companies. Now, one thing I am going to do right now is we do have access to the train station, which is our first ever institution. If we place that, which apparently can go right here. All right, there you go. This will cost a lot of money up front, but it increases the fun and the personal growth of our citizens. But it does a lot more than that. Let's confirm the institution. We have plenty of money in the bank, so none of the parties have any good reason to oppose this. Let's do a normal vote. Bam. So once the train station has passed, I'll go ahead and show you guys exactly what that does. Apparently the world is in an economic boom right now, which is excellent. Also, slavery has just been deemed illegal. And we got a strange gift from a tropical Caribbean island. This is obviously a reference to Tropico, if you didn't know, because that's the developer of the game. It was the same people who worked on Tropico. When you go to the port to collect it, you find it is a live llama. Congratulations on your mayorship. I wish you a long and successful career. As a token of my goodwill, I have sent you Hector. Treat him well. Sincerely yours, Penultimo. Do I accept the gift? Yes, I accept the gift. And as a result, we get a little bit of prestige, and our entire city gets a little bit of extra fun, because llamas are awesome. Did you not know that? Well then, what's wrong with you? Llamas are great. Limited liability companies. And this is going to win pretty easily. The Physiocratic Party is not super duper in favor of it, but it doesn't matter. I don't need to bully the Physiocratic Party to be approving. All we need is a simple majority, which we should very easily accomplish. Like so. Bam. Alright, so now the demand of all of our citizens has gone up, but all of our social services are going to be more effective. So there we go. Forming companies is now easier than ever, Today's decision by the Imperial Council makes limited liability companies a reality. The new law was proposed by the conservative right in an effort to boost economic growth and increase tax revenue. Bam. It's actually going to be pretty darn useful, makes a lot of people happier. The happier our people are, the more effective things are going to be. And by the way, the demand may have gone up, but look at this. Average city fun and stuff is great. Everyone's got a better social life, security, physical environment. I mean, just straight up, we made the city more effective in every possible way. I love limited liability companies. I can't think of a single reason not to do that. Propose a new institution. We're going to vote on the train station. Now, again, if you are running a deficit at this point in the game and you don't have a lot of money, it's not unusual for all the parties to vote against you. So wait until you have a good monthly budget, and then you're going to be fine. Now, what this train station does is it increases the fun and the personal growth of the entire city because we have the station. Okay, that's good. But then you see this in red. Sales demand for all industrial companies is reduced by 2%. And you might look at that in red and say, oh, that's a really bad thing. We've just made all of our companies less effective at selling. Maybe because of competition from other cities and stuff like that. I don't know. No, that is not at all what it is. It's in red, and that seems misleading, but this is actually a very good thing. Sales demand means how many sales do I need to make in order for my company to be profitable? This actually is going to make all of our industrial buildings more effective, not less. So reducing sales demand is actually one of the best ways to increase the demand for commercial and industrial buildings in your city. Very, very effective. You should be going for this anytime you have the opportunity. Train station is great. I know that seems misleading, but no. You're going to find that we're going to start expanding our industrial sector a lot faster because it's now easier to own a profitable business than it was before. The conservatives provoke you. A commoner as a mayor is too much to take for beau monde. They use every opportunity to refer to your lowly birth, and they seek to embarrass you. Do I focus on learning etiquette, which makes me gullible but less cynical? Do I not give a rat's ass about them, become cynical? Or confront the worst troublemakers, optimists and pessimists? I'm going to confront them. The Free Democrats realize that you don't seek conflict, but can deal issues rationally. With issues rationally. They appreciate your effort. By the way, I'm not sure if anyone can hear the piano going on in the background. That is my wife who's deciding to play a game right now. Not a game, sorry, a song. So hopefully that doesn't get into the audio, I'm not too sure. Gas infrastructure. The city administration is pondering between the different types of gas street lights. Do you choose the Anglo-Saxon model, the Parisian model, or the Viennese model? As far as I can tell, all this does is give you increased goodwill with a particular political party. So I'm going to go for the Viennese model in order to make the physiocrats like me more. And yep, sure enough. Citizens are more likely to vote for them, and I also get some extra goodwill. I wanted the extra goodwill because they are the largest party. You never know, that can be helpful. And as our city districts are increasing in their capacity and new buildings are built, you'll notice our monthly budget is doing just freaking fine. The National Swarelian Party wins the election, with the Physiocratic Party coming in second. So the centrists are now in charge, which is great. Taking criticism. A famous writer living in Waltondale has become a vocal critic of your politics. You invite him to dinner so you can have a discussion. What do you say? I could ask him what we could do better, or I could threaten him. Now, I don't think that my character is a very cruel person, so I don't think it's actually going to do anything. I'm going to ask him what we could do better. I'm going to assume that he wants the city to do well. I'm going to ask for some honest opinions. The writer tells you that the people of Waltondale would like more opportunity to influence city politics. You think it's a reasonable request and promise to help him get their voice heard. So personal growth in the entire city just increased by 2. That's actually really good. Nice. Now, I think that the result of those different options will depend in part on your traits. So I think because of Connor Kilgannon being an honest optimist, I think that that probably increased the likelihood that things would go well for us there. If we had been a cruel person, like one of those Von Pilzens or whatever the name is, then I don't think that he would have responded very well to that. So yeah, there's something to keep in mind. Different families, different strategies. Praises. The Physiocratic Party chairman praises your character in a newspaper interview. How do you react? Call him and return the pleasantries, or ignore his friendly attempts? No, we're going to foster goodwill with them. Thank you for saying nice things about me. I'll say nice things about you. And we get some free goodwill with the Physiocrats. Not bad at all. So we got 3 districts that are growing pretty well. As soon as one of these districts reaches capacity, I'm probably going to build out a new one. Right now you can see we have a lot of residential growth, partly because there is demand for a lot of labor. So people see a lot of employment opportunities, and they are moving into Farnham. Tax proposal. The Free Democratic Party wants to lower taxes for commercial companies. It would boost trade and improve city finances, they claim. So whenever you get something like this, go with them. The only time that the city council is going to propose something like this is when you have a huge surplus. You can afford to lower taxes, it's okay. By doing this, you are going to increase the goodwill of that party substantially. Never oppose them on something like this. Just say, yes, I support a small tax reduction, and if it passes, that's fine. You'll notice that everybody is in favor of that because, well, if you reduce taxes, we can boost the growth of the city. So why not? The council will vote on your proposal, which will change the taxation, goodwill with the party increases, even if they lose the vote, right? Even if it ends up that the other parties disagree and we don't change the taxes at all, you still get the free goodwill. So it's always a good thing to do. And in this case, though, the citizens are more likely to vote with the party. This is the only reason you might not want to go with it, is if you don't want a particular party to become more popular. But either way, changes of the opinion on the current vote, the Free Democratic Party, it's probably going to pass, and we have a huge surplus right now, that's fine. We finished gas infrastructure, so now we have access to some new services and infrastructure for the district. I'll go over that shortly. Let's choose a new technology. We could go with sanitation, which accesses some new edicts, which we haven't touched yet. Also upgrades water pipes, accesses a small park, which is a new service. The medical industry, sewer system, a port, which boosts companies. Now that's something I absolutely would love to have. So let's go ahead and go for that now. Now, I've said before in this video, if you go to city data and you look at the districts, we can see that we're actually reaching traffic capacity for Waltondale, which is going to drastically reduce its ability to expand. So we do want to increase the infrastructure here. We're also going to want to increase the infrastructure in Darlington very soon. I find that industrial sectors will use up their traffic capacity very rapidly. They're not even half filled in and they're already close to traffic capacity, so you're going to inevitably have to do that. Residential and stuff, they can get away with that a little bit more. Let's go to Waltondale, and what we're going to do is we're going to propose a modification to the district. We're not going to change up the zoning, but we do want to change up the infrastructure. Right now we have a gravel road. That's all we have in the entire district. If we click on this and upgrade it, we can say, hey, let's spend 250,000 thalers to upgrade to a cobblestone surface. Now, of course, because cobblestone is a more effective but also a higher maintenance kind of road, it's going to increase our running costs substantially, 26,000 per month. But I think that's worth it. We could also propose adding in gas infrastructure and gas lights, but those are pretty expensive. And to be honest, we don't need this right now. So we're just going to upgrade the cobblestone. It increases the overall cost of the district substantially, but all the parties are in support of this. We could also pass a police station, which is not a bad idea. If I were to build one, let's say right here, take up the entire block. Maybe I'd do it more like this. Yeah, actually, no, let's go ahead. We want a police station at some point anyway. Let's build one. We're going to propose that. That will cost another 20,000 per month as well. So we're going to propose this. All the parties are in favor because we have a ton of money. We could spend some prestige in order to quicken the vote, and let's go ahead and do that. So now rather than waste, I don't know, 6 months for a vote, we're going to wait 3 months or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it is. It's not that bad. We're making 100,000 thalers per month right now, and we still haven't fully filled out these districts. Just to give you an idea of how this works. I mean, if you play this game correctly, you can expand like crazy in Era 1 and do really well. Let's first vote on modifying the taxes. Everyone supports reducing taxes, which is okay. This will spur up some economic growth, so it'll be fine for us. It only reduced by about 2%. And let's do a vote to modify the district, add in the police station, upgrade the roads. Again, that's going to cost me more money, but it'll make things more effective overall. So now we are down to 40,000 thalers per month. Still a nice surplus, plenty of money coming in. Who's worried? I'm not worried at all. Traffic in the district is now down to 49%. Now we will need to upgrade Darlington very soon. I might want to go ahead and do that now. Yeah, all right. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and propose a modification. Infrastructure, upgrade the roads. Everyone supports this, and propose to change the district. We could use our personal funds to just upgrade it right now, but let's just do a simple normal vote. I'm not in a rush for this one. They haven't quite reached capacity anyway. If all of the political parties are in favor of whatever you're doing, it probably means you're making the right decision. You know, in this case, upgrading the infrastructure here is probably going to be a good thing for the city, no matter what strategy we are using, no matter what our political leanings are. So the fact that all of them are in favor means, yeah, we should probably do that. If all of the parties are against you, it means you're probably making a mistake, and you are following the wrong strategy. In that way, the city council actually can prevent you from screwing up the city too much. So the city council, I'm telling you, they're not your enemy. They can be annoying when they restrict you, but they can be your friends. Child genius. Waltondale is amazed by little Marie Lettner. This merchant's daughter is but 7 years old and plays piano pieces like an old master. Her performances have become popular, and now the middle-class residents of Waltondale would like their children to be as good as Marie and demand skilled piano teachers. We could look for skilled teachers from cities abroad, or we could give Marie a grant to see that she is properly schooled in music, or I smell foul play. No, we're going to look for skilled teachers from other cities abroad. This increases, well, apparently a little bit of money for the middle class. So now the middle class citizens in the city have a little bit more money in their pockets, which they can use to buy goods and services, which increases the economic growth. And that's usually a pretty good thing for us. I'm not sure that one is going to do much for us. I've never seen that event before, so there you go. Modify districts. Let's go ahead and cast our votes. Upgrade the infrastructure of the industrial sector. Done. And that should make it a lot easier for Darlington to expand. Let's take a look at the city data. Yep, they're down to 50% traffic capacity. No big deal. Now, we do not have a lot of commercial or industrial demand right now. But we have filled out our residential sector pretty nicely. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and propose a new district. We have plenty of money. Let's go ahead and do it right now. I will place you sort of like so. Something kind of like this. Like this. Kind of an awkward looking district, isn't it? We could build it out kind of like this, I suppose. Let's see if we can take up this entire space. Hang on. Oh, nope, I want you to be like this. There we go. Kind of an awkward looking district, but it's not too bad. Yeah, let's do a dense grid. And this will become a new residential and commercial area. Primarily residential, because that's what we have a lot of demand for. Cut out the industry, and we'll say about 15% commercial, just so that people have access to some nearby buildings. And because of where we're placing it, it's actually going to be within the radius of the church and the police station, and pretty close to the school, so we won't even need a lot of new services in this area. Confirm zoning. No need to upgrade from a gravel surface or anything. They're not going to have traffic in the beginning. Why pay more money? We can always upgrade it later. Let's confirm the infrastructure. Don't need a new surface. And it's going to cost us $39,000 in order to run it, but I imagine we're going to make a good $100,000 or so once this is fully developed. So let's propose a district. Everyone agrees. Let's do a quicken vote, spend up some prestige, and we'll be fine. Okay, not bad. High security in Waltondale. Thefts and assaults are rare in Waltondale. The residents never lock their doors and trust easily. Are they too trusting? No, we should have more people like that, or we should tell them to be more careful. Nah, we should have trusting people who are willing to trust their community. What the heck? I don't know if you can hear this, but I think my wife may have downloaded the sheet music for Heathens by 21 Pilots. Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool. We are a little over our time, but let's go ahead and propose a new district real quick, and then we're going to end out this video. Things are going pretty darn well for us. As soon as we get sanitation, we'll go for a port, which does the same basic thing as the train station, makes all your industry more effective, which means you're going to get a lot of economic growth. Industrial sectors are probably going to be making you the most money in the early game. But yeah, alright, new district is going to be built. Hackthorne is its name, and they're already expanding, which means more taxes are coming in for me. More people means more labor that they can use in the industrial sector, which is actually almost filled out. It doesn't say that we have a lot of demand, but pretty soon we actually could probably expand in a new district. First train from Vienna. The train connection is ready and the Emperor himself arrives with the first train. At the ceremonies, the construction foreman makes a faux pas by pointing out the misery of those who got injured during the construction, even though the numbers was well below expected levels. We could address them in our speech as well, or hope for noblesse oblige, some French terms and stuff. Yeah, let's go ahead and address the victims as well. We are Connor Kilgannon after all. We are a champion of the people. And by doing so, the proletariats are embarrassed. They're not happy with what we've done. Those close to the Emperor are ashamed of how tactless we were at pointing out the difficulties. But the workers are thrilled. So, all the lower class and working class feel more secure in our city, which is excellent. I'm okay with losing goodwill with the physiocrats in order to make everyone feel more secure and happier in our city. That's going to make us more effective overall. Not a bad trade. Not a bad trade at all, in my opinion. Illegitimate children. The number of illegitimate children has risen notably in recent years, especially to lower-class women. This is most likely due to the improved social life of servants and other workers. You want to comment on this in your public speech. What do you say? Children born outside of marriage should be adopted. That's considered cruel. Condemn the extramarital relationships, or mothers of illegitimate children should not be condemned, which is a very progressive thing to say. And I'm going to say that. That is going to make our lowest class happier, and again, upset the physiocrats. But I'm not relying on goodwill with that party. It's okay if they don't like me. I'm not an imperial. I'm an Irishman who supports the lower classes. And the Free Democratic Party wins the elections, with the National Sorelian Party coming in second. It actually so happens that the physiocrats are now the weakest political party in the city, so upsetting them is actually not a big deal. Notice, by the way, we have a lot of room for expansion in Hackthorn, and we're at almost 100,000 thalers per month, again, with 6 million in the bank. Do you guys see what I'm saying? This game is not difficult if you have a pretty good idea how to approach the early game, and you don't expand services too much more than you need to, and you don't antagonize the other political parties. It's really not hard. Not hard at all. We're going to continue doing exactly what we've been doing. We're going to keep building out. We're probably going to have like 6 or 7 districts by the end of Era 1, I would hope, with a really good economic base. And going into Era 2 and stuff, we'll then start adding in some new services, and we'll look pretty solid. Pretty solid across the board. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If so, then be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time.